I'm telling you, this ride with Jesus is super duper fun. Well, I had a lot that I went through today. So after sunset, I came back here, fed the girls, and literally just collapsed. I was exhausted. I'm starting to get tired again. But I woke up at 10 something, wired for sound. So I had a conversation with my buddy Mike back in Indiana, little turd. Man, is he a turd sometimes. But I love him all the same. And I saw a little bleep about Biden. That little pain in the tail end. Is his mother alive today? Because I can't imagine a mother raising a son like this. But let's just talk about what he's just recently done. He has just put out an executive order on cryptocurrencies, and here's everything that's in it. It was published March 9th, which is yesterday at 9 a.m. Well, that's poetic, that's biblical. There's all your threes. Are you catching up yet? Look at all the threes in today. March is a third. 9, 3, 3, 3. 2, 0, 2, 2 equals a 6, 3, 3. Biblical. Our times. If you haven't caught on yet. U.S. President, oh, we already said that. They repeated it. How stupid is that? That's what's wrong with our, you don't need to repeat what's already there. Let's just keep moving it along. That's a waste of my time and everybody else's. The measure focuses on 6 key areas. Consumer protection. Oh, really? No. Financial stability. Why? Because then they can control us because they're controlling how much money we have because they're going to take it all. Illicit activity. What? And the way they're running our country isn't illicit? U.S. competitiveness. I'm not even going to go there. Financial inclusion and responsible innovation. The Biden administration also wants to explore a digital version of the dollar. What's that movie with Bruce Willis? The Fifth Element? You might want to watch that one if that's what you want to live like. Because there's already a vehicle that doesn't have a driver in Clearwater. Because my friend Teresa posted it. So, watch The Fifth Element. The world the way it is there. Just start looking at the similarities. U.S. President Joe Biden signed, and this is from, let me tell you the source, CNBC, signed an executive, because, they always tell the truth about the president. Right? U.S. Joe Biden signs an executive order on Wednesday calling on government to examine the risks and benefits of cryptocurrencies. It's a long awaited directive that has had the crypto industry on edge, not least due to growing regulatory concern around the world surrounding the digital asset market. There have been reports of a divide between White House officials and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, leading delays in the policy rollout. The crypto market got wind of the executive order overnight after the Treasury accidentally, there's no accidents, put out a since deleted statement calling it historic and releasing some of the details ahead of time. Somebody let the cat out of the bag. Oops, that was an angel. Because let me tell you, silence no more. Silence no more. The order was finally signed Wednesday. It calls on federal agencies to take a unified approach. Unified in their, that's not uniting us. I don't care what they're saying. Stop listening to their crap. Garbage in, garbage out. Yeah. We need to take the trash out of the White House. And I know just the way to do it. And that's all of the article. Oh no, here it goes. Okay, so it's got a consumer investor protection, financial stability, illicit activity, U.S. competitiveness on a global stage. Yeah, that's about what it is. We've got the puppet in the White House, and he's got the floor right now. But it's time we, the people, unite across the globe to stop this BS once and for all. Protecting consumers is an important part of the directive. There have been countless stories of investors falling for crypto scams or losing huge sums of money through cyber attacks or exchange or users themselves. Well, sounds like our government now, doesn't it? So now they're attacking an industry that, from what I've heard, has made some money. Now, I don't know anything about it. I have not researched it. It is part of my brain that just is not working towards it. It's just not something that interests me. So I haven't done any research, so I'm just making assumptions. So I am open for anybody to enlighten me in the most basic form, so then I understand the concepts. If I can understand the concept of it, then I don't need to know anything else about it, because then I can fill in the blanks and then ask questions where needed. So, anywho, when are we the people going to stop allowing all these executive orders? We've been doing it for how many years now? Every president, and I hate to say this, and I'm sorry the Christians out there, but man, every time he got into office, he slapped his penis on top of the last one, because he had to show him he was bigger than that one. I'm sorry. That's the best way for me to describe our administrations and our presidents of current and past. But this one, he don't even have one. I mean, I'm not saying literally, but let's just be honest. He is the biggest puppet that's ever been in the White House. And he is not pulling his own strings. Just saying. They found a lackey, but they didn't find a goat. Just saying. They picked the wrong man to try to rule the world. Because look what happened. Us Christians saw the light. Oh boy, did we, when that one got in there, we're like, how'd this happen? So it's about time we, the people, stop this crap once and for all. If you want to live in a communist state, move to China. And they'll control everything you do. They'll listen to all your phone conversations, which our government has been doing for years. Watch the movie with Will Smith. There's all their technology. You think they made that shit up? That stuff is real. And they use it all the time. All day long. They're on our computers now. You got the camera. They're in our television sets. Did we authorize that? Where did we sign something authorizing them to come into our home and invade our privacy? I think we, the people, need to go after our government for what they've done to us. Think about that charge. Illegal search and seizure? Well, what about peeping Toms coming into your house? Uninvited guests. Has anybody really thought about this? Or am I the only one that thinks all night long and barely sleeps? Because I can't believe we have allowed man to do this to what God gave us all. You want to talk about disrespect? It's a wonder we're still here. And you want me to tell you why? Because there's people like me out here in this world spreading love and kindness. And I've met tons of them on my journey, and you know who you are. Because we felt each other's hearts, and we were sisters and brothers from the minute we met. That's how you form your army against these lawbreakers, these joy stealers, and these BSers. You unite in Christ, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. You want to live like they did in The Fifth Element, where everything's controlled by a card, and you got fake people driving? I certainly don't. I enjoyed my youth as a kid, when life was simple, even though the government was corrupt then as well. We've only had a few presidents that were worthy, that were honest. My mentor has not been Abraham Lincoln my entire life for nothing, because he failed at so many things. But what it reminded me of is I don't ever have to list my failures, because once they're done, they're done. You know, yeah, I live them. And if somebody asks me about them, I can talk about them. But I live for the perseverance. The perseverance for when I was diagnosed with blood clots in my brain, told the night before I was released after a 15 hospital stay that I had to sign the release papers. And after signing my name thousands of times on tax returns, I could not sign the last 4 characters. I didn't know what they were. And when my Don Kokonowski adopted me and my sister, we didn't know the rules. We didn't know why. My mother stripped my biological father of ever having any contact with us when she divorced him. Think about that. My father was taken from me when I was 4 years old. You want to talk about why my dad had mental health issues? Because I was a love child, and everybody on earth loved my dad. I don't know that my dad had one enemy, ever. And I'm just like him, and my mother could never handle it. Never, ever. She constantly ridiculed me my whole life. She treated me like Cinderella, and she was my biological mother. I could never do no good in her eyes. Even when I pleaded to move in with people when I was a kid, she convinced them that I was a liar. So the rest of my life, I made sure I always told the truth, and I had a witness, and I had documentation to back it up. So that's why I'm so detail-oriented, and that's why this presidency is so corrupt, and the worst corruption we have lived with ever. You want to know why I got sick for 2 years? Because God wanted me to start using my brain to the capacity that it was capable of doing. But man got it drilled into our heads that we had to earn a living. We had to make money. It was all about business, then family, then whatever his name is. Think about it. Think about, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. All you have to do is be quiet and listen. Man only wants to hear what he wants to hear. And he'll deny you said anything else. But what's so funny is when you repeat the conversation word for word, the look on the other person's face, because you effectively listened, is a jaw drop to the floor. It's a jaw drop to the floor. You know how many times people have said, "Are you even listening to me?" And I'm like, "Are you serious? Do you want me to tell you word for word?" Oh, and I've done that. And it about freaks them out. Now I've had issues because of the blood clots. So I've come back and I relearned how to sign my name. And my math and English skills were severely impaired. And I fought back from that. And when you're mindful of things that you've done freely and easily your whole life, math and English have always been my favorite subject. Until I had Brenda Knowles for law professor. And then, oh, you want to talk about a sponge in that class? I learned, and that's the only textbook. That might be one of the only textbooks I kept from college. I definitely kept that one. So I haven't survived a suicide attempt, blood clots, and left for dead and homeless to go out of this world without making a difference. And anybody that has met me along my path feels my heart. And when I started leaving Indiana, I started passing them out and leaving them behind so I could leave a little part of me with them. And then my journey all the way here to the Keys, I passed them out because I wanted to do something to help this world heal from the pain and suffering that has been here for so long. So long. So long. When did people forget about God? When did they start damning him in movies and we didn't hear it until now? I started making a list of them that are in it. And I bet if you watch it now, it's going to register. And it's going to be painful. And there's no reason for it. So you see, every time somebody goes to my YouTube channel, they call Jesus 333. I couldn't think of anything else to do to help save this frickin' world. How easy is that to do? Beep, beep, beep. 333. I don't have that one memorized yet, but I'm working on it. I've been a little preoccupied with living. I have to have the King James version because that's just Natalie.
Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. So you see, I started with my heart, my whole life. Anybody that has met me cannot deny it. And if they were ever felt hurt by me, I never meant to ever hurt anyone. Ever in my life. That's not who I've ever been. In fact, if anybody ever felt that way and they said that, it just broke my heart. And I just couldn't even apologize enough because that's not how I meant it when it came out, but it came out a different way that they received it. And then when I explained it to them, the hurt was mostly washed away, thank the Lord. But that's what happened with our world. We stopped communicating. We started listening to dictators and allowing them to pull the ropes. The only problem was they weren't honest about it. They've never been honest. And there's my mentor, Honest Abe, who failed so many things and then finally accomplished the one thing he wanted. And then look what man did. They killed him because of it. Just like they did to Jesus. Just like they did to Jesus. So I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of this frickin' BS in our frickin' country. And all this talk, blah, 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 blah. How about we put some action from we the people? You want to talk about a charge? When did we allow them? When did we sign anything that allowed them to illegally be voyeurs in every one of our lives? By our phones, by our computers, our televisions, cameras everywhere, control. Hey, who's with me on this? I can represent myself, and everybody else can represent themselves. If there's one thing I haven't learned in all the cases that I've won for myself, is I have had the power to represent myself. And each and every one of you out there does as well, because you can defend yourself more than anyone else. And if you talk about your life like I talk about mine, there's not a judge and jury that's going to wrongfully convict you unless they're just corrupt and they've got hearts of coal and stone. So why are we not storming the White House with this? I'll lead the way, because I'm not afraid of them, because I'll have my Princess Hannah Grace and my Princess Harley, who's in her 17th birthday month, by my sides. And Hannah is my service dog, and she can walk into that White House with me, and they can't stop me. And if she barks at one of them, you know they're corrupt. You want a voice, and an honest one at that, and has not a damn thing to lose because I'm homeless? I'm your gal. I'm willing to go to bat, and I'm not afraid of those lawbreakers. Frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. And I've got an ace in the hole. because I know I can help and represent, because I know this is factual evidence from Legally Blonde, one of my favorite movies, that you can represent others if you have a licensed attorney present. And my law professor from college, that I need to get her updated reference information to apply for the job here at the resort. Left me a voicemail today when I was dealing with all this law paperwork and nonsense, trying to clear my name. Yeah, that's what I was up to today. I'm putting the blame back where it belongs and where it's always existed. I'm putting the blame back in man. One man right now, but we got a lot more of them out there. We got a lot more lawbreakers out there. And it's about time everybody start talking, because we need to get it all up to the surface so we can start cleaning house once and for all. And if we unite together and we start with the corruption of their illegal being voyeurs in our houses, and think about every other room. You're going to the bathroom, you got your cell phone. I mean, come on. When did we... You want to talk about charges? And who's going to give us restitution? They have bankrupted us, passing out fake IOUs constantly. Google it yourself. And China and their big pile of... That's the biggest black hole ever. Want to talk about Hitler? Look at China. And then Russia's right over there with them. You can see who was all in bed together. It's not hard to look. You just got to pay attention. So I'm willing, with my 2 girls, to go to bat. Because I'll be calling my law professor. Oh, yeah. Boy, oh boy, we've been like sisters. Oh, boy, she's the mother I never had. Boy, I would have loved her as a mom. She is tough as nails, and I love that about her. Oh, boy, and I've got a lot of female women in my life that have been moms to me. Brenda, Sandy, Nancy Hagedorn. I have so many women, thank the Lord, that knew my heart and always loved me, always. And dads across the globe always treated me like a princess. And all the guys I dated were never... I only had one that was mean, and he got arrested. Well, and the other guy just took advantage of me and raped me, but he denies it all. But all he needs to do is look in the mirror. He's unrecognizable. He doesn't even look like the same person. That's the devil in him, and the multiple demons that exist. But as you can see, I've been trying to save the world and uniting it for a long time with my heart, even though it was constantly broken by my mother, telling me I was no good. I finally thought, you're out of your mind. Playing the violin is, you don't have any idea how hard it is to learn it. And then she'd squawk at me because I sounded like a squeaky cigar. You need to practice more. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Me and Joanne Mortimer, first and second chair constantly. And the only reason why we had to battle each other because we were made to. We could care less. We were just happy to be in the orchestra. And frankly, I didn't have to practice much. I was just good at it. But it didn't matter what she was doing to me because I knew my Bible. I knew it didn't matter what people like her said to me. But it took a long time to kick in. Because even though she was doing that stuff to me and hurting me, I was still loving everybody. I was still sweet and innocent. I always was. Until man took possession of something he didn't have the rights to take possession of. And that's what man's trying to do now. Turning it into a communism, socialism. If that's the kind of place you want to live, then you move out of this area, because we the people, we don't want that kind of government. I mean, if you think about it, why do we need a government? What have they done good for us? What have they done good for us? All they've done is impose rules and regulations and control how many taxes we pay constantly. Constantly. That's all they've done. And then robbing Peter to pay Paul. Talk about poor financial business tycoons. Really? Oh, don't even get me started with that. That'll be for another video. Tonight's about us going after them. For illegal. I'm sorry. There is nothing that I have signed in this world anywhere authorizing them to be a voyeur in my house. Now, if anybody else can show me proof, please let me know. But I'm pretty sure there's not a person on this earth that has not authorized any form of government to invade their privacy by being a voyeur, an uninvited voyeur at that. So I would think every person on the globe would be pretty ticked off about that. And the government can say, well, it's in blah, blah, blah. No. Where's the Bill of Rights? It ain't in the Bill of Rights. There is nowhere in the Bill of Rights that says anything that they can come into your house without your permission. Just saying. I guarantee that doesn't exist. So why don't we go after them? Just saying. And I'll lead the pack, because I'm not afraid to do it. As you can see, I survived blood clots. You don't think? Ask some guys that dated me for some of my one-night stands. Yep, I was one of those girls. Because, man took from me, so I figured, you know what? Why can't I take from him? So yeah, what'd I do? I went into bars, and I'd scope the room, find a nice gentleman. We both saw eye to eye, and I'd take him home, because I thought, nope, man's not going to take something from me. I'm going to get something out of man. See how I turned the tables? I know that wasn't of Jesus, but just saying, if you think about it. It's okay for man to do this to us women, but it's not okay. At least mine was mutual consent. I didn't take. Women don't rape men. Think about that. Women don't rape men. Women don't rape men. They ask for permission. They always ask for permission. They don't take something from somebody that doesn't belong to them. Women are stronger than any man on earth. Because not only are we emotional, we are strong in our conviction of what our roles are on earth is to be the strength for our family, even if we are battling something on our own. You have to put on your armor. You have to put on your armor of God. Because when you don't, look around. This is what happens. He's GD'd in movies. And he's kicked out of schools. And he's ridiculed. And and they want proof he existed. Where's your God now? He's not saving your life. How's those demons eating at you? Those people that said that back then. Because their conscience catches up to them. Eventually. It all comes to the surface. The tangled web we weave is what I started off my Silence No More episode 1. When we practice what we deceive. You know? Insanity workouts, I used to do them. Because I did get, what was so crazy about the insanity workout is if you did keep doing it, your muscles got so confused that you got the outcome. You got different outcomes from the workout because you were working your muscles so much, they were so confused. They didn't know what to do. But that's not what we're living with right now. It's insanity that we're letting them repeat the same things over and over and expecting a different result. We have to stop it. And this cryptocurrency crap? Are you kidding me? Stop it. You've already made the world about business and you forget about everything else. And now it's about money and greed, and that's why Natalie's homeless. Because the man that I fell in love with just decided one day he didn't feel like helping me out anymore. That's his 2-year-old attitude coming out because he's got one of those in his pants. Just saying. Because I've seen his temper tantrums. But he should know by now, don't piss off the queen. And the queen always wins. Because the facts are always straight. And that's one thing about women. We always know the facts. And that dirty attorney, they're going to be coming out of the woodwork when they hear about Natalie. Because I don't mess around when I hear a cry for help from some sisters that I've never met. Because I can read people like a book. And I loved this man until I didn't love parts of him I didn't know existed. Because he was such a great actor on the outside. He had me fooled. And that takes a lot. And it took me being invited into his bedroom to pick up my paperwork to keep me in my beloved home that I've been evicted from and homeless. For me to be invited into his house, into his bedroom to pick up my paperwork. So I'm attention to detail, and I looked around the room. Kind of reminded me of Tommy Bahama stuff that I love. You know the look, the louvered doors, the kind of like brownish, reddish stain. It just screams Tommy Bahama. At least it does in my book, always has. So, where was I going with my story? That's the first time I've done that in a while. But that's something that I'm known to do, and I have a lot, because my brain is constantly thinking, and if I start getting more relaxed in a conversation, it's like all of a sudden it's almost like it skips a beat. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if I need to have like some type of whatever, but I literally feel my brain working. I always have. It's the crazy. It's a wild place to be when you can feel it, but when with the blood clots, the pain that I experienced from that, when you have a brain that's constantly learning, it was a war. It was the hugest war that first year. And then any time the stressors came, it made that pain a war again, because my brain was starting to heal, so it wanted to learn. So I'm constantly was trying to go to sleep because I needed more rest, because my head hurt, and it was hurting more because I was trying to think more. It was just, I couldn't shut my brain off even though my head hurt. Watch the movie Phenomena. I keep telling people that. You know, that's my brain. It's always been that way. But we need to stop this corruption in the world. We have to stop it. We can't let them keep coming in and taking everything from us that we've worked so hard for. There's a lot of people that I have met that are facing homelessness, and they're just like me, just everyday people that worked hard for a living, and then man took it away and threw us back for the wolves. But every one of us that has been in this place has come back victorious, and that's all by God's graces. So we need to start with one nation under God, and we need to, I'll have a video about this next phase of where I'm headed, and when I'll pick a date. He'll pick a date, I'm sure. I don't know. April 15th, tax day. I don't know. We'll see. It's got to be a good day. Or maybe it's even sooner than that. But anyway, think about what I said, because I'm serious. I'm willing to go to bat. It doesn't matter what they're going to tell me, because I've got all of you as witnesses. It's a slam dunk case, don't you think? Don't you think? That'd be the easiest case ever. We don't need a government when people are honest. Why do you need a government? Or have a government that's honest? The and there's no rules and regulations. But if in a perfect world, there wouldn't be violence, because we'd all be on heaven and earth now. We'd be learning and creating, and people that like to cook could cook whatever they wanted, and we could share. And I mean, think of a world where we didn't have to spend money. We just produced the crops and all of that. Why does it have to be about money? Why did it ever have to be about money? Yeah, it was in the Bible. But why can't people that love what they do learn what they do to get smarter, to create more amazing things in this world? Think about how many things are restricted because of all the rules and regulations. Think about all the creativity that's out in this world that hasn't been explored because man made it all about business. I want to live in a world like that. Why can't we make it like that? People love electricity, so they're electricians. People love to do plumbing, so they do plumbing. I love to do taxes until man made people so evil, and they lost their faith. I love taxes, and anybody that knew me, that's why I started my business. I loved them. I loved them, and I couldn't do enough of them until the stressors, the workload. It didn't even matter the workload anymore, because the stressors of man were way more than I could tackle, and I didn't even realize it till I was too far in, and I couldn't get out. I was drowning myself because everybody was just constantly at me, and I wasn't strong enough to fight back until now. I can relive that pain in a healthy way of cleansing now. Whereas before, it was so hurtful that I couldn't, it took me so long to come out of it. Now I'm so healed of God's graces. I mean, surviving my own suicide attempt of 54 Xanax and 3 bottles of wine. Lifeless. I'm assuming in the living room, I don't know. On the floor, where my best friend Michael is there and witnesses it. To think that he kept me, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And it took the nurses that I was on 24-hour surveillance to say, Natalie, all you've been talking about is God. Maybe you being shipped to the nut house in Fort Wayne is part of his plan. So I was okay with that then, because there was a woman that sat in there, and I don't remember her name. Oh, she was a love. She was like my grandma. So she was the one that was constantly in there, and we did prayers together, and it was so beautiful. Talk about an angel sent to me. So then I go to the nut house, and I could feel my dad and how my dad felt when he was put into the system. So not only do I have my father's records, I have my own, and I can portray how my dad felt when I read his documents about how he felt. And tomorrow I'll get to get some of the stuff out of the house because I get to get a couple days to get my things out of the house that I was evicted from. So, when I tell my dad's story that he could never tell, you're going to feel it. Because my dad and my hearts were the same. They were from God. Because he was from heaven. And my mother was not. She's never been. And all I do is pray for her. Just sometimes find a way. So, we have got to do something to stop this madness once and for all before they control us so much we don't have a way out. We have to stop this now before we don't have a way out. Are you ready to be imprisoned for the rest of your life and treated like cattle? I think we've already been treated that way long enough. Let's talk about the charges of the poison in our food and our water supplies. When did we authorize that? They lied to us and told us that it was okay for us to ingest. It wasn't. That's why we're so sick. Just saying. Talk about the charges, write them up. Talk about the charges, write them up. To our government for what they are doing to each and every one of us, including children and babies in the womb. You want to talk about charges? How about we have our own executive order and call a convention of states? I will come back. Wait, let's do it right now. Convention of States. Okay. States that have passed the Convention of States application: Georgia, Alaska, Florida. I'm going to restart this list. If you don't hear your state, you need to go to the Convention of States website and sign the petition today. If you do not hear your state, are you listening? Men, tune in. If you do not hear me list the state, you need to go to the Convention of States website and sign the petition today. Let's call a Convention of States. The states that have passed: Georgia, and this is in the order that they passed and date. Georgia, March 6, 2014. I'm not going to say the rest of the dates, but I just wanted to tell you when it started. Alaska, and I didn't know anything about it until I arrived in number 3. Florida, number 3. Are you listening? Ding, ding, ding. Beep, beep, beep. Alabama, Tennessee. There's my Hoosier state. Indiana, number 6. 3, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Beep, beep, beep. Oklahoma. That's a heavenly state.
That's number 7. Louisiana, Arizona, 333. Nat, 333. I'm headed your direction. Bing. I need my musical instruments. I have to put that on my list. I have to put a list for tomorrow. So I can have my one-man band here. I have to write it down or I'll forget. So, back to the Convention of States. See, I'm on board. Arizona. North Dakota. Chad. Missed you, boy. Met that gentleman online. And you know what a great man he is. And any woman should treat that man real good, because that's a good man right there. That's a good man right there. Chad, oh boy. Love you. Bunches and bunches. Texas, the Lone Star State. Number 11. Missouri, 12. Arkansas, Utah, Mississippi. Always like saying that. Mississippi. I don't know. Just a thing of mine. Wisconsin. Oh, cheese. Oh, cheese and sausage is so great in Wisconsin. If that's the one thing that I will never forget is, oh, and ice cream. Oh, yeah, that too. Yum, yum, yum. Anyway, Nebraska and West Virginia. There's only 18 states. States in the making, they're getting closer, is New Mexico, Iowa, South Dakota, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and New Hampshire. You states are closer than some of the others, the ones that are, so you're in the process. So if you're in that state and you haven't signed the petition, go sign, get online, Convention of States, and sign the petition. Because we're going to pull a Convention of States. States considering the convention. Okay, I'm not even going to list them. What's even the point? So the signed petition to call for Convention of States right now, and I'm going to screenshot this for proof, is 2,297,625 signatures. So I'm going to read. I support the Convention of States project, a national effort to call a convention under Article 5 of the United States Constitution restricted to proposing amendments that will impose fiscal restraints on the federal government, limit its power and jurisdiction. See where I'm going with all this? Oh, I was losing my power. Dang it. I'll get it back. We'll just start at the beginning. Oh. Okay, no, I'm going to start. It says petition your state legislators, what it says. This is how it's going to start. I'm just going to read you exactly what is here. And this is on conventionofstates.com. So that way you know what you're signing up for. Because I'm a straight shooter. Anybody knows Natalie, I'm not a storyteller. Except for the real stories, which are super fun. And I can't, leave out parts because it's just too good. So you have to sit down and enjoy the ride. Almost everyone knows that our federal government is on a dangerous course. Yeah. And if you haven't noticed, wake your eyes up. Are you smoking something? Oh, yeah. Sometimes it does make people stupid, just so you know. Instead, for me, it enlightens me. But anyway, the unsustainable debt combined with crushing regulations on states and businesses is a recipe for disaster. And yeah, we're living in a disaster right now, wouldn't you think? Yeah, big time disaster. What is less known is that the founders gave state legislators the power, thank the Lord, to act as a final check on abuses of power by Washington, D.C. Did you hear that? What is less known is that founders gave state legislators the power to act as a final check on abuses of power of Washington, D.C. Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution authorizes the state legislators to call a convention of states, call a convention for proposing needed amendments to the Constitution. This process does not require the consent of the federal government in Washington, D.C. Did you hear me? This process does not require the consent of the federal government in Washington, D.C. I support the Convention of States project, a national effort to call a convention under Article 5 of the United States Constitution restricting to proposing amendments that will impose fiscal restraints on federal government, limit its power and jurisdiction, and impose term limits on its officials and members of Congress. I want our state to be one of the necessary 34 states, and what did I say the number was? 18? 18. See how many more we need to get? Let's get cracking. Chop, chop. Talk about a homework assignment? I want our state to be one of the necessary 34 states to pass a resolution calling for this kind of Article 5 convention. You can find a copy of the model resolution and the Article 5 pocket guide, which explains the process and answers many questions here on https://conventionofstates.com/handbook_PDF. I ask that you support the Convention of States project and consider becoming a co-sponsor of the resolution. Please respond to my request by informing the National Convention team of your position or sending them any questions you may have to info@conventionofstates.com, or their phone number is 540-441-7227. And it says, "Thank you so much for your service to the people of our district. Respectfully, Nat 333, I'm a district captain for the last district in the Florida Keys." So, I've been a strong Republican most of my life, but I have, to be honest, I voted for some Democrats because I trusted them. I wanted to see what they do. I never voted for the party. I voted for the person based on their body language. I didn't listen to what they had coming out of their mouth because I knew which ones I could trust and which ones I couldn't. That's what I did while I didn't have to watch them. I just saw what they were doing to the taxpayers. I didn't have to listen to it on TV every day and listen to the garbage in, garbage out. Instead, I got to fuel my mind with stories from my clients that could tell me about their positions and tell me about because I learned, so what do you do? What kind of business is this? Explain it to me. So then I could understand what they were doing, and then I would go and actually see it in application. Long Slack Shop, I really never watched you. That bothered me. I always want to know how it would to make keys, so maybe sometime you can teach me when I'm in town. I want to learn how to make keys. But that was the one thing that was so fun about all my clients is I got to live their lives with them and learn about kids' behaviors, what worked and what didn't, who were better parents than others based on their behavior and what their outside activities were. I mean, I studied people constantly while I was doing taxes and answering the phone and having conversation. I mean, I was like, I don't know, you've seen that, the mom that has all these arms. Well, I'm kind of always been like that. When I sit idle, I'm bored out of my mind. That's why at tax class I'd listen, and I'd be doing crossword puzzles and texting on the phone and Googling, and then I'd hear something and I'd go, okay, where is that? And then I'd say, why are we doing that? That doesn't even make any sense. Trust me, they knew who I was at tax class. Because I only spoke up when I needed to. Because the rest was just blah, 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 blah. Like Charlie Brown, that's how I felt. We truly did need those desks that we stood up at, because I could have, if I would be like now, if I could be then like I am now, oh my gosh, I would have been sleeping like some of the other ones in class. Now I understand. They were further along in life than I was with my spiritual journey. So anyway, if you are not one of the 18 states listed, please go to the Convention of States website and let's do this one nation under God. Because they're all about God. Man just tried to get rid of God by polluting the world and polluting our bodies. So let's get the Convention of States too while we're at it. We'll just have a big circus. How's that sound? And the only ones that are going to lose are the ones that are in office, and they can't back down. What are they going to do? Take each and every one of us out? They already tried and they lost. COVID. Then the vaccines. And people are still healing from them, and they can't figure it out. That's Jesus. He's helping cure the nation from the poison because people keep calling 333. People keep calling him. He's listening because COVID, where is it? People aren't dying like they were. Look around, people. We're helping heal the world because we're turning to Jesus and we're going to get justice once and for all. Now, who's with me? Because I'm ready to lead the pack because I got nothing to lose and everything to gain for we the people because I'm all about it. And I always have been, and I always will be. Always will be. So thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting my little part and helping save this corrupt and disrupt, sinful, hurtful, lying, sick world. Let's take one for Jesus. Let's show him that he didn't die on that cross for nothing. Let's give back to Jesus what man took from us. Mary Ann Goss, I understand now. You got it. They've been praying for me. They knew I was going to be here for the keys. But I was tested a lot. Let's give back to Jesus. Whew. You cannot even believe what that felt when I said that the first time. My heart is so cleansed. It feels so pure. Like the air in the room tonight. I'm breathing in it. It feels just so pure air. Even the air in the Florida Keys, the salty air in Florida is just healing in and of itself. Why all the salt lamps? I mean, it's so healing to be in the salt. So it all makes sense to me in my tiny little head, which shows that anybody can learn. It doesn't matter what the size of your head is. It's just how much are you willing to put forth the effort to learn. And I can tell you, picking up that Bible since January, I'm almost to May, I believe. I've never had so much fun reading a Bible in my life because I feel it's about my life. Because I'm living it right now. That's why I'm so emotional reading it. Because I can feel his suffering. I can feel his pain. That's why every time I read about his crucifixion, I feel the pain around my head. I always have. That's just what I've been trying to tell everybody, but nobody wants to listen. Until I had a cry for help. For my Princess Harley. And then I was ridiculed for
pouring out my emotions, but it was breaking my heart. And so I started praying to Jesus and uploading my devotions by reading them out loud to my girls. Start spreading God's word on my YouTube channel. Just because I wanted Harley to live longer. I wasn't being selfish. God put the animals on here. He left them for us. She's going to be 17. He is healing her body every day. And she's got these tumors on her, but they're not hurting her. They're not hurting her a bit. Because the doctor said if they're not bothering her, and they're obviously not, she's slowing down, but she's 17 for a dog, and man's beat her up, but she's starting to get stronger because her back legs are getting stronger every day, because I know, because when I put her front paws put her front paws up now to pick her up, I count to 3, her legs are getting stronger every day. So being at this resort has been really great for her exercise, because she's got her grass to eat, because she supplements her diet with grass because it's healthy here. It wasn't up north. Every time she ate grass up north, she threw up. She don't throw up down here. She only throws up water that she drinks too much of because she gets so dehydrated. And she only drinks purified water. When she stopped drinking tap water, that's when I stopped drinking tap water. Purified water, some spring waters, and she'll drink rainwater because that's still pure. Because that's God's cleansing the air. That's still pure. So, I even tested it once. And I was told, oh, there's bird crap in it. I don't care. I'd rather eat bird crap than poison, wouldn't you? That bird crap never made me sick. If there was bird crap in the water that ran through the metal roof, that was cleansed daily from the salty air, so how could anybody tell me that it wasn't pure? That's somebody that doesn't do their homework, obviously. That's why food that goes bad, you can put in the water, it purifies it as soon as it hits the water, because the salt of the earth. When do people not do their homework? It's not hard. You just gotta apply yourself. When did all the other shit matter more than learning? Because you can still have fun and learn. When did life just start boring and feeling sorry for yourself to sit in front of TV all day and hours on end without enjoying life, getting out? You know, dentist tonight. You want to live there in that room? Yeah, I really do. There's a whole world out there. And I'm having so much fun having my window open, looking at the pool, and going outside, getting my devotions done, doing my homework, and then exploring the world. I don't need a house. My friends can come see me here. And they can pay their way. The way God intended it. Or, like I said before, start a whole new commerce system ourselves. But we need to start with convention of states. That'll help too. Then we got tons of charges. We got tons of charges against the government. And I'm not talking about the current officials. Oh no, there's lots of them. Just because they're not in office doesn't mean they're exempt from participation in we the people going after them with charges, countless number of them. I'm pretty sure the cards are stacked in our favor on this entire thing. So you want to start
spreading the word about this hot little number I just added onto tonight, too. Watch them spread like wildfire. You want to talk about starting a war? How about a war of we the people, setting the record straight once and for all, and calling out these lawbreakers across the board, and you know in your cities and counties who they are, start ratting them out. We need to bring them all out to the surface and stop this corruption once and for all. And y'all need to know, use your voices for the greater of good. Remember, one nation under God, start with him first. We need to do this together. Unless you want to live like that for the rest of your life, and I'm pretty sure you don't. Because it's pretty dang miserable, living with all that crap. So let's start cleaning out house. Sign that petition and start open those voices and do it for the greater good. You know who the good ones are. All you gotta do is let the dogs out and they'll tell you. Single file. Seriously. You want to clean up America quickly? That's how quick you can do it. That's how quick you can do it. When I pulled up at the attorney's office to sign the documents, that attorney wasn't thorough either. It's unbelievable how incompetent that the man-labeled attorneys are. Now, Brenda Knowles, yeah, no doubt. That's a rarity right there. But nowhere in the contract did it say anything about the money. I said, that needs to be listed. That needs to be listed. Because I'm not going to have anything come back on me. And, oh, well, we talked about it, but you didn't get it in writing, so. Oh, no, I learned that long ago. You get that stuff in writing, always. And get it in print. Because another attorney friend of mine was a Rottweiler. Said it doesn't matter if it's signed writing, if it came from that phone, text, message. You got 'em black and white. So I got lots of those. Natalie doesn't like to delete her messages. That's why my phone gets so full up. Because I like to have facts and figures. Because you never know when you're going to need them. Just saying. But you can always get those records too. Because that's technology. There are positives to technology. But could you imagine a world where technology was used to take what people like me constantly are thinking and create and make it real? Bring your stuff to life without having to pay for it all. And then everybody gets the benefit of it. I mean, think about a world like that. So think about what would be something like a flashlight. That's perfect. Thank you. Let's think about a flashlight or a torch. And think about that person that came up with that idea to bring light in the darkness. Think about a world where those people, everybody on earth, could think of just sit back and just decompress and let your mind go crazy and not think of anything bad. What is something that you've always wanted to do in life? Is there something you've wanted to learn? If you start putting your creative juices back in your head, it helps rid the crap that's been infesting it in our lives since we were born, by the corruption in the media, by the lies and fabrications. So by fueling your mind with good, like reading the Bible, it's ridding your body of the toxins day and night. So what they thought was going to kill us, we turn to Jesus, and he's help healing us. Just saying. Look around. Look around. There's nothing else they can say to change it. And the stronger we keep calling 333, the faster we're going to heal. And the stronger we'll become as a nation to stop these lawbreakers once and for all. Once and for all. One nation under God. What's so crazy about a girl from Indiana from a city with a heart, Elkhart, that moved to Marathon, where the airport is the heart of the Florida Keys? Why would I not want to live in Marathon? Lord in heaven. And this resort is like the Coco Cabana. And everybody knows the Coco Cabana was the place to go. Well, I'm ready to have a party. But we're going to victorious through this, and we're going to have one crazy fun party at the Coco Cabana. Just saying. How's that? And we can party together across the globe. Because we've got technology to video chat. Just saying. How cool would that be? For everybody to be able to see everybody celebrating independence and freedom across the world. How about that? That's what I sign up for. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's what I want. And why can't we do that together? Because I think we've all had enough, and we're all seeking for something. Well, why not seek to the Lord? Because he does provide. And despite me being homeless, see what I'm still trying to do? See what I'm still trying to do? And I listed my pony for $39,000 on Marketplace, even though it was over $52,000 was paid for it, because I just need money to pay my tab, to keep me going, so that I can do this mission trip to Arizona and back. So, I'm at the Banana Bay Resort. So, they've been beyond generous to me. And I've been helping with the staff, and I've been cleaning my room myself, and I've been cleaning up the grounds. I'm just doing my part here. So, telling them, if I have to, I'll work it off. I'll do whatever I need to, but I don't want to leave here. I love it. This is my forever home. And I don't need a huge mansion to do what I want to do. Is share my love for the world and have a pool to swim in and a hot tub, and then be able to see my sunsets and sunrises. That, to me, is worth $1 million in and of itself. And I don't need to live in $1 million home to feel that way. And I get that. I get that. Oh boy, did I get that loud and clear once I arrived here. I'm like, I don't need all that stuff. But I've got ideas for some of the stuff, because it's my creative genius ideas that have to be still. I need a lab. I need a think tank. Well,
That is my think tank. It will always be my think tank. So stay tuned. The house isn't sold. Crazier things could happen. My stuff's still there. Just saying. It's not, just saying. Leela opened the door. She had closed it, the landlord, but she opened it up. She opened it up wide for me, because she heard my cry for help, and she knew what I was telling her was the truth. That why I got where I wasn't my fault. I was deceived yet again by another man. So you can imagine why I am so strong about my conviction about going after the government. Because it's about time an honest woman do a man's job. Because we've seen what man has done. And I don't approve. And I'm sure you don't either. My logo for executive accounting was a man's business suit. And I was questioned constantly. Why is that? I said, well, because my first client's brother, Monty Rogers, like a brother to me. So is Gene. Was a sign maker, and I asked for a sign. And he said, can I do the logo? I said, yeah. He said, I've got an idea. And I said, okay, great. I can't wait to see it. And he went with the same color scheme as Professional Dental Lab of the green and gold, which was perfect. Money, gold, 5 golden rings, just saying. When he showed me, I was like, oh, absolutely. I'll never forget that day. And he knew my reaction was going to be that way. He said, you are a woman with balls. And you will not tolerate men doing this to anyone. Treating women, mistreating people. Ever. And I never have been. Until I was a victim. And didn't have a way out. I turned to Jesus. And look what he did. So anything is possible. If you believe, you will receive. If you believe, you will receive. Just like me. So, silence no more. Part 2. Stay tuned. Bye. Love you.